All right, GM. Everybody, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you're watching us from. Today, you're welcome to another, should I call it episode? Or, yeah, welcome to another live stream on Onchain Africa. And it's actually a privilege to always be in front of you guys talking, sharing these things that we do share here. And just in case you're joining us for the very first time, I'm your host, Benjamin, also known as Web3 Boy here in the crypto space. And one of the things that we do here on our live streams is the fact that we speak to African founders, share their story, talk to people about what they're doing. And it's not just about talking about these guys or knowing what they're doing, it's also about you. Every guest that we bring up here with us on all of our live stream, we make sure that these guys have value to give back to you guys in terms of inspiration, knowledge, some things that you could go back with. So if you intend starting something, this is one live stream you should belong to. You don't have to be in tech, because I feel being a startup founder or starting something actually cuts across different areas of life, from tech, fashion, food, whatever it is. It takes some level of balls. I'll call it balls or guts to start something. All right. So, and I believe that you listening to the stories of these guys would actually help you start something that's actually amazing in your own area or in your own field. All right. So before we dive into today's live stream, if you're watching us wherever you're watching us from, please do well to retweet. If you're watching us on Twitter, do well to retweet. And if you're also watching us on YouTube, please do well to share on your WhatsApp status, Snapchat status, Telegram status, whatever platform that you're actually conversant with or you prefer using. Do well to share it. All right, we'll definitely appreciate that. And if you have a friend that should be on this live stream, please, please, please do well to invite them and bring them up with us. All right. So if you are streaming with us, probably on Twitter, on YouTube, I would appreciate a comment, probably GM, whatever it is you want to say, shout out, anything. Please do well to also leave in the comments. And one thing that we always do is that we take questions also. All right. If you have any question, the founder said something that actually sticks with you, please do well to ask your question, and we're more than glad to share it to the founder and get answers for you. And today I'm having a friend, a fellow Nigerian, all right, definitely a fellow Nigerian, obviously, and a builder, someone that has been cooking and doing a whole lot. Brother, good afternoon. How are you doing today, sir?
Good afternoon, Benjamin. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, say I know pronounce your name. That name hard for me, I swear.
I saw that. It's actually it's very simple, right?
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
pronounce how now.
see, okay, so Ogene Barubo.
You don't say, let me just call you Ogene. I know Ogene means God, right?
God, yeah, so
Yeah, God.
Barubo is fine, Orobo is fine. Either of them is
Okay.
fine.
All right. So,
Yeah.
what does the full meaning, like, what does the name mean?
God is victorious.
God is victorious.
Yes,
No wonder
but,
you are conquering this
but
thing you are building. It takes some
right.
level of grace to build this.
It is very needed though. Like man, grace is like the major ingredient in this food we're cooking. Grace is the
Yes,
major
sir. Yes,
ingredient.
sir. Yes, sir. Nice having you today, sir. All right. So quickly, so I don't take much of your time. I know you founders, CEOs have a lot you are doing, probably behind the scene or go to market and all of those things. So we'll just dive into it straight in, and let's see what people can absorb from what you have to share with us today. All right. So quickly, sir, before you started building this that you're building, and before you started something being alive, what was it that you were into prior this time or this moment of your life?
So before everything tech, right? Uh,
Mhm.
I was a student.
Definitely.
It's not about just aside. So I think I've always been this person that is very curious about um, technology, not even computer, right? Technology toys. I think back then my a uncle of mine used to call me damage clerk because
You just
I've been
spell things.
above. I've sports so many things. I've sports so many things. I think back then toys and everything I had, like I was usually putting them, taking them aside to even see what is inside. So I think
Mm,
that's the curiosity I've actually grown up with,
mm,
and I think that's actually been a major ingredient in my life per se. That actually propelled me to this journey per se, right? And before then, I think I got into tech way back 2012, when after my secondary school days, I was learning back then Java desktop. So I was just, I think it was really exciting. And there was a meme around, there's a meme that on IG when it spoke about, when you're as a developer, not because of the money, not because of anything, but the fact that he touched the computer and actually did what he did, he actually felt like a god. Like,
mm.
yeah, that was the feeling
That
back then.
feeling.
Like, this god complex, like, oh, I'm a creator, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into Java back then. It was really interesting. Desktop apps and the likes. So, but something really happened along the way. I lost my system. Things were not so good back then. I was out of like in touch with program for like a year, almost 2 years, right? Back then, I think I started deceiving myself. Carry the book. I'm trying to read programming, like. And one thing, one thing was that, yeah, one thing I know that it leaves you faster than you leave it. Like it leaves
Mm.
you faster than you leave it, right? So I think along the line, I got a new laptop. My dad got me a new laptop. Then I was struggling. What I've learned, like it has
To
really,
remember them and start
yeah.
afresh.
So to those, I was struggling trying to find relevance back then, and I came across Java, like no Android developments. Then, so I think of all my days, I've finished just one programming textbook.
Mm.
Um, that was Oreo teaches you Android development. Like I finished that. That was the book I finished. So back then, my friends, we had like an idea for a product. It's called Detailer. I was working on. It's a recording app for tailors. When Nigeria tailor has shown you Pepe, you start thinking of
It's your
you start
measurement.
like shit, you start thinking of solutions and everything. So I was like, okay,
Mhm.
record book that synchronizes cloud. I used Firebase back then. So that was my first app. I was literally learning Java and building that at the same
Mm.
time. So when I was done, I won't printed shirts and everything. I was moving from tailor to tailor, tailoring shop, rant, worry back then. Like,
Selling your
come on,
product.
I have this app. You're like, oh, very interesting. Back then, I think that was I think I did that during my 200 level. I was 200 level or so in school.
Mm.
My classmates, when I published it up on Play Store, people were like, people were really psyched about it. Like, having to meet somebody that has an app on Google Play. So more tailors were downloading and the dropping comment, this app is very good. And I was like, I was just laughing, like, bro, like this guy, you don't really know anything about so like wow, like my record, everybody just forging no comments and everything to just
Mhm.
make like I had very good ratings back then, back then in Play Store. So but I don't know way, I don't it just did not really work out per se. It was just there. But I think a moving man eventually breaks. So I kept on moving. I think that's one good thing about I just keep on moving regardless. So back then, I was focused on school. So before I got into a startup back then, that was soft codes, grew from mobile down to CTO. Back then
Mm.
we're very devoted. Got into rent money. After rent money, we're building, built like I've built several things, trigger, a end of life service, and that one did not even fly because Nigeria don't like anything debt. Like,
You feel
like
like
when
they're village people.
like, exactly like when you push like, oh, this is so what it says it's debt tech. Eh? You now try to arrange it like, okay, end of life service. They're like, what does that mean? Like in case you die, like I beg.
I don't
Things
want to
like
die. I know they plan to
oh,
die.
yeah, so it was also back then. I actually did that during build space nights and weekends. I actually got in nights and weekends, so I would build that myself and my co-founder. Then I think from there we've gone on to build escrow services like Guava. Now I'm working on Pollinet. So I think so before everything, Pollinet, Remoni, it's just a guy that's just been curious, right? A moving
Mm.
man, I would say, a
Yeah.
moving man, and I've just been curious, take my
All right.
time, just have a good
I
time.
think let me ask you now, because I know you started some things, you spent time, invested some money, and all of those things, and those
Yeah.
things failed. How did you manage failure?
How do I manage failure? Man, like it's really devastating though, coming from like, from a let's call it is it tight budget background kind of
Mm. They
right.
call it humble background, by the way.
Humble background, yes, very humble, right? So it is very humble. So like when things fail, I think one major characteristic I have is I tend not to take things to heart. I think maybe I was born that way, or maybe my environment shapes me, right? I tend not to take things to heart, and yes, it might be very painful. You know, sometimes just share a tale or two.
Mm.
Maybe you're just on your shower, stand under the shower, and just think about your life, or you sit around, stare at the moon. Just sort
Mm.
of. after you just do one of those things, like you just have to just pick up yourself
Moving
and
on.
move
Yeah.
because waiting. I think, and I consume a lot of motivational videos. If you go through my feed, like, so I think those things subconsciously actually build some resilience per se.
Mm.
So when
And
when
give
we
you
run,
some shock absorbers.
exactly. So when we just run into these things, if you must cry, cry. But as I crying, yeah, okay, what's the next step? Yeah, we are moving regardless.
Yes, sir. Like you said, a moving man eventually meets his luck one day. So, like they
Yes.
say, it's a very popular quote these days, by the way. So, we know you spent some time with Rent Money, actually, which is a
Yeah.
Nigerian recognized fintech or fin company, right? Fintech
Yeah.
company, right? But while you were working with them, what did that chapter actually teach you about money, technology, and the gaps that existed in that system that that particular organization was not filling?
Okay. So I think one thing I learned there, I say money is emotional, right?
It's
Right.
tied to your emotion.
It's tied to emotions basically, because I think that's the whole essence of the blockchain per se. That's why we keep pushing trust. These are all emotional, all have to do with emotions, right? Gaining someone's trust. So that's one of the
Hmm. Okay, I think we lost him there a bit. All right, so while we wait for him to join back, all right, so we'll just try to figure that out quickly. I guess probably had a phone call. And just in case you're just joining us right now, please would appreciate it if you
kind of
could. Okay, is it back? Okay, no, yeah. So just in case you're just joining us right now here on AfroPlay, on Chain Africa by AfroPlay, please do well to like this live stream, retweet, comment, reshare, and post on your WhatsApp stats or whatever social media platform that it is that you use. Or I would definitely appreciate that. And today we're having the founder of Pollinet. All right, just in case you are wondering, Pollinet is something that powers a wallet that makes your blockchain activities run without internet service. For example, one thing that is for sure, I know that one thing that is for sure is that you can't actually use your wallet. For example, I have a Soulflare wallet. I cannot access my Soulflare wallet without internet. But it's building something that allows you access your wallet and everything without actually using the internet. Okay, we have him back. I don't want to actually let the cat out of the bag. So
okay.
sorry about that. I guess you had internet issues.
Yes, unfortunately so.
Yeah,
Unfortunately
welcome to Nigeria once again, sir.
so. So I was saying, right? I think I got the emotional because okay, so this is like about emotions, right? Because when we're working with Remoni, I have friends that use the Remoni mobile app
Mm,
because I was like the one of the key persons that actually built the mobile app from the ground up, right? So like one of the key mobile architects working back then with Remoni. And when there's an issue or two, they call me. Oh, Bob, Alpha, like I can't, my money is not, what's going on? It's not,
mm. No, nothing
I'm
wrong
like,
with our money.
okay, I was like, for real, what's the problem? Like, I like, no problem, I'll call somebody. So I'll call. I like, what's going on now? Like, So this is a system that has been working, like, working maybe 0 to 90 days
Mm,
efficiently. Maybe due to one or two issues, maybe a glitch or something, maybe for 30 minutes or so, there's my maybe downtime and all. You start seeing calls, you start seeing messages coming like what's going on with the money. So it just shows you that man, regardless as people are banking with you, like trust is a major factor. Like it just shows the emotional state of money, emotional
mm,
state of money, right? So that's one. Then another thing, right? I learned was because Remo, like you know, is one of the major products were giving out loans, right? They
mm,
gave loans to consumer loans, business loans, and the likes. And most of these persons, so back then we start optimizing for low-end device. Like you see some very strange devices, like when you're on Firebase, like console, you see some very strange devices and certain issues. Like maybe you're in a building And the app, for developers, the app always works on your local machine.
Mm.
So
When you now make it public, voila.
when they public as a so you see some strange devices like you've never even heard of their names, like trying to access the app. Maybe it's having some kind of issues per se, like strange behaviors, and most of these things due to network, right?
Mm.
Aside there's low memory, but due to network and all. So those things like just because as a building we try to optimize down to the most weirdest device, for lack of better words, right?
Yeah, I understand that.
Right. So those things, I think those things subconsciously reinforced um, my mindset, right? It just reinforced me. The experience around the environment, networks, MTN,
Mm.
Airtel, Glow. I don't want to say Etisalat. I don't regard those guys as
I don't know if
network.
those guys still exist.
I don't even know, but so but this environment actually just shaped my mindset towards one thing, as money being emotional, because when there's downtimes, when there are issues, right, your users are actually riled up. They want answers because it's money.
Mm.
Money is the means of survival in Nigeria. Like it's money, so they want answers now. So like they don't really care what you do if you are on AWS, or like they don't even care about those things. They want their money when they want their money.
ASAP.
As so those are just like those are what I say lands, right? That's what some lessons I got with my time at Remoni.
Rent money. Okay, great, great. So let's go down to what you're building Pollinet. So for somebody watching this right now and
Yeah.
has listened to these things is said, probably has checked you guys on Twitter and is still kind of confused about what you guys are doing. Like in plain words or in layman terms, what is Pollinet simply about and what problem are you guys solving?
Okay, so Pollinet is all about it's an infrastructure. I'm going to use technical terms and go very try to go as lame as possible, right?
Mm.
So I'll say it's an infrastructure, or it's going to be that backbone software that we enable for lack of for relative for to make it more relatable. I'm going to be using money, right?
Mm.
Because so it's going to be it's going is that it's that infrastructure, that backbone software that will enable other wallets to transact when there is low network, no network, or censored network, right? So what it means is, okay, so one of these major popular guys we have in Nigeria, OPay, money points. Like, let's just use that for as an example, right? So it means that what happens is, if you don't have network, you can't transfer
Yeah.
your money, you can't send money, right? So, but what Polynet is going to do is, even when there's no network, you're able to transfer money. You're not going to feel as though there's no network, right? Because
Mm.
behind the scene, we are actually organizing or orchestrating or like the transactions, right? So how does this work? How does this work? We this your money is being sent via Bluetooth, right? What happens? The intent to send money, let's say what the intent to send money, it's encrypted, compressed, and sent via Bluetooth. And this intent, because you don't have network, it goes ahead of you to other devices. It just keeps on jumping from device to device, looking for network. Right. So so rather than you waiting for network, you do a transaction. Transaction goes to look for network, submits itself, right? So that's just basically what happens. You are there, the transaction has gone ahead of you, hopping from device
Wait,
to device.
sorry. I beg. Let's slow down because they bust my brain. I dey hear Bluetooth for blockchain things. God, I beg. Calm down.
Or like
All right. So,
so
so
it's just a means to an end, just one of those means.
ah, good.
Just one of
Okay,
those means.
so for somebody watching this right now, I'm sure they are also asking, like, what happens? Like, for example, I want to make a transaction on my phone, all right, and I
Yeah.
turn on my Bluetooth, which is pretty fine. So, how does my Bluetooth connect to probably blockchain or your infrastructure without internet? All right, is it like there are systems around or nodes around that makes these things actually happen?
Yes. So you agree with me, in a geographical location, let's say in an area, right? And there's network issues, one or two
Mhm.
persons might be able to. access the internet. Maybe it might be slow, right? So what happens is in that scenario, the transaction goes ahead, go looking for a route to the internet. So assuming you're in a location that has 100%, right? And this
Mhm.
100% be due to one integrations and or maybe it's to bring it more relatable to Web2 guys, maybe let's say OPay, Money Points, GT, but everybody has Pollinet SDK within their app, right? What it means is that everybody's device becomes a relayer, right? And trying to do a transaction, your money leaves or the intent to send money leaves your device and start moving from all device from one device to another. So you
Okay, I think we lost him there again. All right, he's back. ASAP. Sorry. You got
so you can
all
see
right.
this is one reason I actually use Pollinet. Like
Exactly. This is why I need Pollinet, sir.
this is a major use case, a major use case. I'm sure everybody can relate to this. So, like I was explaining,
Mm-hmm.
so in that area, right, of 100%, right, your device, when you try attempting a transaction, that intent is broadcasted to all 100% that has the point executing them, right? So these 100% are collaborating with you to submit the transaction for you, right? So the issue might be due to maybe you have low network or you don't have network at all. Somebody somewhere has network, so your transaction will find its way to that person. Or maybe your network is censored. It means that it's not allowing traffic and all. So it leaves your device and finds its way to get to a device that is not censored, like it actually has a access to the internet. So that's what happens right behind the scene. So we're actually at the point of increasing what's what our relayer growth layer era, right? Where we just launched Polystem. What Polystem does is actually turns every devices into relay nodes and they're actually rewarded, right? So what happens is we're employing or we're recruiting more devices into the mesh network.
Mm,
The more devices we have, the denser the network and the faster transactions are to submission.
mm,
So that's just basically what happens. Your money leaves your device and it goes on to look for internet. So just the way that maybe you be like, oh, Alpha, I beg, do you have data? Can you on your hotspot? Say no, I don't have network. Do you have a network? The money he actually does that for you with total
mm-hmm.
strangers. With total strangers, they don't need to trust you. You don't need to trust them. So it's a gossip. It's a gossip protocol. They don't even need to know what's going on behind the scene. Your device gossips with that device. Alpha, if you some this level, see, I not get so no wala. Give my ola, give it
Jump
to
to
this
the
person.
next.
So that's what happens behind the scene until he gets somebody and it's something. And all these things happen within like it's not like something that'll take days because the transfer is like your transactions is basically very little in terms of like maybe 140, let's say at most 500 bytes of data that is being compressed and fragmented. So you find out that within a second or two, transfers occurred,
Oh, God.
device is disconnected, new connection, like it just moves like that. So that's just basically how it is. So your money basically moves.
Insane. Okay, so now, so for the other person, for example, I'm making a transaction now. Does the
Yeah.
next person's or does it need require other people's Bluetooth to be on for it to actually connect and make that search?
Uh, yes. So at the moment we are using Bluetooth, right? We are moving to exploring Wi-Fi direct,
Mm,
LoRa and the likes, right? So and you agree with me, Bluetooth is a very interesting piece of technology. It's low energy, like what it means that power consumption is very low, and you also agree, right? Majority of persons almost always don't turn on their Bluetooth. One thing is always connected, your
yeah,
AirPods,
or
your
your
like
smartwatch.
yes, or your smartwatch and all. So you find out that you might go maybe 7 days and your Bluetooth might turn on for 7 days. Or if it's one turned off, it's less like it's not up to like 50% of those time. So that's why we actually choose Bluetooth because it's low energy and because of their availability, you like every smartphone, even the non-smartphone, even those I think back there we used to call it China phone. Those
That
phones,
has access to the internet.
all of them. So those devices they have, I said,
Yeah.
they have Bluetooth, right? So
Yes,
we're
yes, they do.
moving, so it's moving, so it's going to be moving, right? So at this point, the SDK, we have our SDK on Android. We're working on like iOS. So we're actually going to be hitting every platform so that every device is becomes. So we're building. It's just like we're building, trying to build like like a mirror of the entire internet, but with Bluetooth, whereby everybody is connected to everybody. It just forms like a very giant mesh down to covering the entire street, entire area, like entire
Community
town,
and
it just goes on and on and on.
Whew, this is amazing. So in summary, you are building what we call DPIN here in the crypto space. And for those of
Yeah.
you that don't know what DPINs are decentralized physical infrastructure networks, all right, that has to do with something, the blockchain interacting with something physical, basically. All right. So now we know one thing about Bluetooth because I'm just trying to really break this down for people watching right now. And we probably have an investor watching right now really wants to understand what it is that you're building. All right. So we know one thing about Bluetooth is that you need to actually pair with the other device for you to actually have some level of connection. Now, does this that you're building actually require that pairing process, or it just breaks through that gateway?
Yeah. Okay. So in Bluetooth technology, there's the classic Bluetooth, right, which is
Mhm.
what we actually had back then, whereby you have to pair putting your code down. Then there's not
Yeah.
here a Bluetooth Low Energy, right? That's Bluetooth. We have Bluetooth 4.5.0 and the likes. So it's actually the technology has actually evolved. So Pollinet uses what they call GAT session. So what GAT session means is it just does a little handshake. So I don't really need to pair with your pair. It doesn't need to pair. It just does a
Mm.
little handshake and it maintains the connection for maybe a couple of seconds. Then it disconnects. Maintain. So your device and my device, I don't really need to like you just have a device. Maybe we'll come in close proximity to each other. Both devices just does an handshake, does transfer and they disconnect. So that's why I call it gossip protocol. Like it just gossips to the other device. You don't know what's going on. I don't know.
You don't need to know. You don't need to
You
be
need to
aware.
know. It just
Jesus.
gossips like it's just more of like you turn
Sharp,
like
sharp. I
and they
guess
talk.
more data.
I just put it
F me small to
let
kid.
me let me
Yes.
transfer. Small ticket. So that's the idea. Like small ticket. So behind the
Yeah.
scenes, right? So it just uses that sessions, and there's no need for pairing. Like, oh, we have to pair. No, we don't do that. We, we,
Mm.
we don't do that here.
Wow, that's amazing. So I think now, sorry, I know I gave you a structure of the conversation, but permit me to break loose from
Yeah,
that because
it's
I'm
allowed.
loving
It's
what I'm
allowed.
hearing. All
It's
right, and
allowed.
someone that's a little bit technical inclined. I'm just trying to get more questions because I have questions running through my mind right now. Okay, just understand what you guys are building. So now I'm sure this was a problem you actually saw at your previous organization where you were working at, right? And you just thought, okay, how can we solve? Like, what inspired you that Bluetooth could be a solution to the problem? Like, how did you think to that extent?
Okay. So I think what came, funny enough, I came across, um, I don't know if you know, is it BitChat?
Yeah, yeah, I
BitChat.
know big sharks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I came across BitChat because funny enough, we've just been optimizing.
Okay, Nigeria is happening again. See, guys, this is why you guys need to go and get your PVC. In case you've not gotten your PVC, please, we need to all come out to vote next year. This is not a political stream or something, but I'm just sharing our issues right now. It's something that we are all facing here in Nigeria. So, by the way, what Ogene has been trying to explain to us about what they are building at Pollinet is the fact that they are building a system or an infrastructure that allows you to perform activities, transactions without the use of the internet, without the use of your MTN Glow. That is, they are simply trying to render our local internet providers useless. Because I'm sure you've been at points where you're about to probably make transfer on your money point or Kuda or whatever, and you run out of data and you don't have internet access at that point. But what is building is doesn't need data to perform what it needs to perform. It can run on its own. And right now they are experimenting and building on Onchain. They are building Onchain right now and doing this amazing thing that they are doing so far. I can't wait to have him back because our questions choke, as we say in Nigeria. I'm sorry if you understand that, but questions actually choke. All right. Okay, welcome back, sir. Sorry
Major,
about that.
major validation. Like, see, like we can validate. Like, I think our everyday experience can validate why politics is needed.
Mm.
Can validate it. So I was saying, right? So it just struck me. I was trying out, I was playing with the app back then, right? So it just struck me like, oh, okay, this is one means of communication without internet because back then, turn off your, turn off the internet, turn off Wi-Fi connection. Like, it's just this one means of, like, they didn't even like, why can't transaction do the same? Why can't block transaction do the same? Like that, I think that was literally the static question of everything. So if I can actually chat with a person via Bluetooth, right? Because
Mhm.
myself and my brother were just playing with it, like it was in one room, like, oh, so just like, why can't I send money this way, right? So why
Okay.
can't I send like so that those are those what was validated the that's what I think that was the best points like of the original idea. So I started doing some research. With AI now, researching is now like it's very fast, like access to informations. So
Vast knowledge, yeah.
so just started doing some research, like, okay, how can this be done? Like, what are the limitations? Like, just did lots of research. Like, I think back then, I think I published the white paper, if I'm not mistaken, in July last year. So I think that July or June. I think I'm not so really sure, but I just published the white paper. So that's the least I just did the white paper. I just published it and I did like a landing page. Like that was it. And I left it.
Mm. Nice. This is amazing so far. I mean, and the beautiful part was that you saw an inspiration somewhere and you just dug deep or went deeper into it, and it just you found you began to find solutions. And you also made mention of the role in which AI actually helped you with the research and access to a wide information, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think now my next question is going to be that so we saw that some time ago, you actually made a transaction on mainnet of about $1.5 through the Pollinet SDK with no internet. At that point, I want you to walk us through that moment, what it felt like, how it felt like for you to have been able to achieve that success, that little success at that point.
So it was like, yes, like,
Finally, they won't think I'm mad.
yeah, exactly. Like, so because if you go through the page there, I initially did like a demo app. Like it was just all over the place. It just looks very techy, like logs running here and there. So
Mhm.
not really relatable. So when I did that, I was like, yes, like this is something that can be shared and the layman actually understand. Like, okay, oh, this was going on. Like this was
Mm.
going on, and like it's so like and you know what's striking thing.
Yes,
So
sir.
we shared it with Vivo, like that's the head of product
Yeah,
Solana.
Solana. Oh, sorry, Solana products or something.
Yeah, and he was like, "Congrats." I screenshotted that. I'm like, "Wow!" I'm like, "Wow!" Because I think because when you started talking about the same, you could not really
Relate.
understand. So after our conversation, we went back, we did some fine tuning, and we went back again. She was like, "Oh, you actually like the SDK route, and okay." So like that was like, "Oh, this really cool. This really good." So, but when we did that, it just showed like, oh, in a very clear sense, this is what Pollinet does. And the beauty of it is not like we're not building an app whereby you have to be Pollinet, have to be on Pollinet to work, right? We're
Mm.
building an infra whereby if you're on software and somebody else is on Phantom, like
Phantom.
regardless of wherever you are, you
Mm.
cannot do a transaction and it works. So we're going to so we're powering the ecosystem to be able to work offline.
Mm.
Because I think there was an hackathon that I think within February March or so, by coding from zero, we partnered with Spartan Georgia and Siren AI for that hackathon, and we sponsored the track offline apps, and we got so when I was on the call talking about Pollinets, I said I'm not going to give anybody an example of what Pollinet does. I actually want to see what they would do with Pollinet. And trust me, like I was blown because we're thinking about money, transfer of money, because Poland is basically doesn't have data, transactions, and all.
It's
Somebody
not just
came up,
limited to money.
not just money, right? Somebody came up with shield mesh, security reporting, like transferring security reports and likes with Pollinet. I'm like, okay, like I never saw this coming.
You never thought of that.
I never did. Someone worked on Stella. It's for stargazers. You know, when you go stargazing and in a place whereby there's no network and you want to like mint or like, I never saw that coming. I'm like, wow. So Pune can do this.
When you
Right?
maybe found that you know see and to come.
Oh, you're like, wow. So it just shows that like, see, there's lots more that this can actually unlock. I might not be seeing everything, right? You know, that's the beauty of certain products. You might be thinking of it from a point of A to B, and people are looking at it from a point of C, D, E, F.
Mm,
So that's why we actually open source it, because that, a good example is like the Linux ecosystem. You
yes,
can
sir.
see how the exponential growth, because everybody's seeing different things. That's why seeing different flavors. Oh, Ubuntu, you see Deepin, you see Zoro, like, so just so that see, people's imaginations are very wild, and many a times these are actually a factor of the environment. So when they see your software, piece of software or technology, they actually a factor into their environment. This is something you might not see because why, you're not there. You've not experienced this firsthand. It's already factored to the environment, and they come up with something extraordinary, far from what you actually thought about. So
Mm.
that's
Oh, you guys are doing a great job. Honestly, I kid you not. And for those of you just joining us right now, I'm with the founder of Pollinet. Let me just quickly share my screen so you guys can see their Twitter page. All right. So I'm currently with the founder. Okay, she's shop now. Yeah. I'm the founder of Pollinet in the person of Mr. Ogene Parobo. Apologies for destroying that once again. The Lord will help me in Jesus' name.
you're getting there. You're getting there.
Okay, I'm getting there. All right,
Yeah.
great. So I'm with the founder today, and he's building something amazing. He's building an infrastructure that would power activities, transactions without the need of internet access. I mean, I think it's one of the bottleneck that we're experiencing here in Nigeria. The internet issues. Probably are trying to make a transaction your money point. You have the money, but you are the POS stand, and your network is not working. So imagine being able to perform that transaction without the help of your internet or without access to the internet. And that's what is building on the blockchain. All right. Now, he said something very powerful that this is not just limited to financial transactions, that you can do other things using what their SDK actually makes available for builders or for innovators. Actually, probably you are creative, you think of amazing ideas. All right. We could actually see how we can peg this into fashion. We could also peg this into food, in the world of food. So this is their Twitter page. Do what, follow them on Twitter to be a part of this that they're building, because at some point they'll be needing your help. All right, because they are trying to go global, trying to go nationwide, and in that part of Nigeria you are in, probably somewhere in Ibadan, somewhere in Akwa Ibom, somewhere in Imo State, somewhere in Kano. All right, they would need your device to power this that are happening. And one thing that I always preach to us, everyone joining our live stream, is that we need to support ourselves in one little way or the other. All right, explore these apps. If you can find bugs, do what to find bugs. I'm sure they have a listening team that will definitely listen to, okay, you found this, how can we fix that, and all of that. Please do well to help in one way or the other. And if you're also watching this right now and you're a builder, a founder, a startup founder, or a developer, and you have questions, probably how it does is ideas, how do you brainstorm, how do you get people to work with you, and all of that. This is the time for you to start asking your questions. So do want to leave your questions in the comment section. All right. And I'm sure you'll be more than glad to actually attend to your question. And also, yeah, the founders page here on Twitter is just having 226 followers. Please, let's go on Twitter and go and follow him ASAP. Give me a follow now, support him, engage on his post, retweet, leave a comment. Even though it's a shout, let's fucking go. Shout that, let's fucking go.
It's shout it.
Shout it, let's fucking go, because you are helping in no small way. All right. So please, if you have any question, do well to leave it in the comment section, and we can't actually wait to attend to your questions. So, sir, back to probably what you're building now. Now, there was a time you actually posted something and you said that the internet goes down, your wallet stops earning, your payment app stops processing, and probably exchange actually stops trading at that point. And then you said that this is not a connectivity problem, that this is a revenue problem. I'd love you to break down what you meant by these tweets you made a while back.
Okay. So let me get a very good example. Mm. Okay, so one thing blockchain promises us, or DeFi, freedom, um freedom basically, right? So it means that anybody anywhere can do and can actually participate, right? And what happens is you have a business online, you have a business, and your customers, you might be up, you might have good uptime, right? But your
Mhm.
customers are having connectivity issues, they're having censorship issues and the likes. Remember when Twitter was banned back in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Some businesses actually took a hit. Businesses that are very that their major source of revenue was on X, right?
Mm.
And they really took a major hit, right? So you see that those are places whereby revenue is not being lost, not because maybe you are doing a wrong thing, or maybe because your system is not good enough, right? Because why? The customers or the collaborators or contributors are unable to ratio. There's a telecom gap. So you find out that you're actually losing revenue in such cases. So, but what I tell you with Pollinet is that that is not going to be the case. Why? Because when such times arises, your user will not really notice. It just keeps on working. So a great good example is you maybe you are going somewhere, you're driving somewhere, like you search for a location. Let's say you're at point A. Oh, I'm going to point B. Point B is like 1 hour away, right? You find out that on your way to point B, you run into certain areas whereby there's no network or low network, right? Maybe your network will disappear. But you find out that the map keeps on working.
Yes, sir.
It's optimized
Regardless.
for. So imagine you are moving, you're going to point B, and your network goes off, and map is loading.
Mm. And you're stuck.
Your stock is loading.
Yes.
So at that point, like, and point B is the point. Let's say point B is a restaurant. That's a business, right?
Mm.
That you actually get rent because you're going to spend money there. It keeps on loading. So at that point, you are left in the dark. You
Mm.
are left in the dark, right? So okay, what's going on? Okay, you start asking her. So that's a whole lot of very flawed user experience. Like, so that's why you find out map. Okay, they have offline capability whereby since you've gotten this point, like it downloads like that part. So whether you have network or you have network, you find
Mm.
yourself so that's the idea. That's what Poland is going to do is doing right
Mm.
for Web3. And funny enough, we're actually at we have like a good foundation to extend this into Web2 also. So it's not going to be just blockchain, right? So
It
we're
cuts
going
down
to
to our
cut
real
down
life
to
activities.
real life. So maybe OP. So why do people like OP money points? It's because of speed.
Mm.
Like I'm transparent, I'm receiving my money instantly.
ASAP. Yeah.
It's like Nigeria will like a sharp sharp.
Sharp, sharp. Don't waste our time.
Yes. So I don't know yes people are by and you don't to be maybe at the supermarket, you do a transfer and you are waiting. They tell you we've not received it yet. You are waiting. Ah, no network. Oh, how am I like you are waiting. Like so those are not going to be the case. Why? Because behind the scene, we're going to be that offline backbone, right? Or that web that's going to enable everybody work. So you're not going to be experiencing, oh, maybe I was in the middle of a transfer and my network went off. Just will be on this call and my network has been trying to embarrass me. Even if for the record, I'm using it's MTN fiber. I don't want to have to say MTN fiber. So
They go, why you know,
I'm calling that MTN. I'm calling them out. So,
bro?
but
I was in MTN 5G and it was terrible. So let's continue. Let's.
man, so you're not going to you're not going to be that experience is not going to it's not going to be it's going to be like a thing of the past because it's just
Mm.
transactions are still going through. people are still raising money, revenues is being made. Like these are not losing customers at that point. Funny enough, businesses you might not really know what's going on, right? You are left in the dark.
Yes, sir.
You're left in the dark. You just find out in your chat at a particular point in time. Oh, there was a drop, maybe So, but it's not going to be the case no more, right? Because why?
Mm.
Regardless, come soldier go, soldier come. Barack what
No,
remains.
the empty. No be lie. All right, so let me ask now because you guys are building something for the future. Now, somebody's watching this right now. Probably an investor is watching us right now, and I was just going to ask this right now: like, how can one invest in this that you guys are building? Because how can one probably just buy a part? Because this thing you are building is the future that we are heading into, especially in a country like this.
Okay. So we recently we launched our token. That was it January or February? I think I'm very bad with dates. I have to work on my dates, right? So, but that's one way, right? Just getting out to go. Investors also one way. Write us a check. Like we actually need money, right?
Mhm.
To do what we are doing because we've been lean. I call it bootstrap. I don't know call it bootstrap. What's the right thing? We've been pre-revenue. Those terms, right?
Oh, I mean, I
Right.
don't know those terms. I know they raise money. I beg. I don't know those terms. Speak
Right.
for yourself.
So, so, so yeah, come on, one way to contribute to us, like join our community, developers, like go on our code base. It's open source, right? Um, go through our code base. If there's improvement they can be done, please by all means do it. Open
Hmm.
a pull request. We'll review and we'll merge if it's very good, public good, right?
Yes,
We
sir.
met. Engage with our social medias. Like the idea is to actually reach more persons, right? You might say, oh, maybe I'm not really an investor per se. I can't really. No, you can still contribute.
Hmm.
Give us a like, a retweet, quote us.
Just
Just
this
share your
thing.
idea. Ask questions, like because in the point of asking questions, we get more clarity. I might not actually have thought about everything. You might not have really
Yes.
thought about everything. When you ask some questions, you actually hit the spot. I'm like, I know you think about this thing. Okay, can I get back to you with a response or not? You think about it, So see, there are lots of ways to actually invest in us, per se.
Hmm.
Aside money, right? Engaging with us, come up with our community, talk, ask questions, test our system, test our software, you know, uh, contribute to our software and the likes.
Hmm. Makes
So
sense.
that's just it. Yeah.
All right. All right. So now that you guys actually have the plans on, I mean, being in every vicinity in Nigeria for, I mean, so that this can actually work the way you want it to work. All right. Somebody in the north is doing it easily, someone in the south is doing it easily, and someone everywhere is doing like, what's your plan? How do you plan on invading everyone's mobile device? At least 6 or 7 out of 10 should have you guys application on their phone.
Yeah. Okay. So one, let's call it go to market strategy, right?
Yeah, GTM, yeah.
Partnering with major products out there, right? For example, Sika. So we submitted, for example, Sika to the store, and it was just approved.
Mm.
So that they're approved. So it means people can actually download Polystem, right, on
On the sticker phone.
Sika, right? Was just submitted to Google Play Store. So, but aside that, so that's just people just downloading to become a relayer. We're actually
Mm.
going to partner with um, products like Solana Sika itself, whereby to have the SDK inside the Sika
In phone itself. Direct.
natively, right? So what this does is it makes every Sika device a Pollinet relay node, right?
Mm.
But when you're partnering with maybe with Software to get our SDK within
In their
Software,
software.
so what
So
it means that
wallet.
every downloads, if Software has over a million or to 10 million downloads and all, so it means that all these devices becomes what? A relay node.
Mm.
Partnership with the
Automatically.
platform. partnership with Guava, and every other wallet. So that's the idea. So we're not just going per user. We're going per project because what that project
Mm,
just is what all their users.
mm,
It gives them the opportunity for offline capability, right? And also
mm.
onboard other users on the network, mesh network, right? So, and I think since then we our network Polystem, right? We have like a uptime of over 200 hours since we actually launched like the Polystem network and all. To have like uptime of over 200 hours. It's actually on our website. It's if you go on polynet.xyz, so our network started. You actually see like some of these metrics. So we're growing. No matter just are growing, more devices are growing. Our coverage is across like so we have like 5 countries now: Nigeria, US, Malaysia, Holland, and Russia. Russia. So, but it's just few devices. But the idea is to grow the numbers.
Yes, gradually. Yeah, like they say, Rome was not built in a day. So
Exactly.
yeah, so it's a gradual process, and I think that's actually amazing because the way you guys are actually handling things, you are not like you said, you are not thinking per user, you are thinking per product, and I think that is an amazing idea. So instead of you hunting after one, two person in Lagos, in Ikoyi, in Badagry, and all of that, you guys are attacking ecosystem. For example, we have millions of users on Solana, sorry, on Soulflare, and all they have to do
Exactly.
is just update probably their wallet, and immediately they have it on their phone.
Exactly. Exactly.
Damn, you guys are cooking, man. Real hard. Cooking. I really appreciate that. So I don't take much of your time. This is actually scheduled to be 1 hour, and I have just 9 minutes to go now. All right. I think everybody watching right now, you've learned one or two things about this that they're building. And just in case you don't know now, the letters actually going down on the screen actually is their Twitter handle. So do well to actually follow them on Twitter and support them as much as you definitely can support them. All right. So now, let me ask questions that will relate to the audience the most. Now, like you said, you are from a very humble family. And I know the one thing that this coming from an humble family does is that it gives you a kind of mindset. All right. So, for example, for someone from an humble family, each day when you see fried rice and chicken, not Christmas. But for somebody with a different family that they chop am on a daily basis, you
Like
get. And I'm also talking from a very personal experience. I mean, I had a friend of mine back then that I mean she'd always chop. Then they chop fried rice for every weekend for their side. I said, "Oh, fried rice, nah, Christmas stuff for where me I come from, brother."
like imagine in school like student you are doing turkey and
Bro, this thing
I
relate it exists.
it also I remember visiting the girl and she sent me I'm like in my mind I just played cool, So
Yeah, you have to pretend now. Definitely, you don't want to
yeah,
lose
no,
guard.
but
So now, for people that have that mindset about, they have ideas, they have brilliant dreams, they have things that they can do, but they are stuck in the mindset that was inculcated to them by their background. Because I'm sure you at some point you were also there. How did you overcome that kind of mindset?
okay, yeah, if you notice, I said initially I consume a lot of motivational videos, right?
Yeah.
So, I think in today's society, social media, this top one already. Social media has done, let's say, more harm than good per se.
Mm,
Or if the harm to good ratio, I'm not sure is that far from each other. So the quality of content you consume, right? Because one thing about these things is exposure. Exposure actually matters, and exposure can come from so many angles. Can come from personal exposure, like you being there, traveling, and the likes, right? You meeting with people, talking, conversing with people, persons. That's why I would advise people to actually go for events. When you're
mm,
at certain events, tech events, ecosystem hangouts, you like it just broadens your horizon. So
mm,
like the quality of persons you follow or quality of content you consume per se is actually a very good is actually preparing you in the right path because you now find out that you're not thinking some type of way, not because you are better, no, it's because of you now see things differently. Maybe they post some things, maybe your normal you want to react, "Ah, hey," But because you've gotten a new light, you think from a different perspective, right? So that's one thing, right? I think exposure is very important. I can get it from so many angles. Can get it from who conversing with someone that's exposed
Mm.
and telling you, oh, this is what you should do, or this is what I would do if I was in your shoe. Your background might want to fight there, but it's not that one.
It's not possible.
Just do it first.
Mm.
If you are stuck, go back and ask question and the rest. You might find out, you might never know what you are doing. Just at least I mean with I think we're in the age of information where everything is readily accessible. AI, just a prompt or two. If you don't know how to prompt, ask it how to prompt.
Mm.
Use AI to refine your prompts and use
Yes.
it on AI. Like
Funny.
those are also ways to. So when you tend to do these things, right? Converse, be open minded, and two, you have to be willing to want to learn. Right? You actually need to be willing because you cannot say you want to learn. They're telling you, are saying, oh no, no, because it doesn't really make sense to your value. No, you have to be willing to want to learn. If someone is telling, oh, this is how it does, or this is how it is, and this, rather than argue, take a step back, look at it holistically. Try and look at it from that point of view, from that POV. Try and understand from that POV and likes. So these are the things, right? Exposure. By all means, gain exposure. Like that's one. I think they call it. It comes in different flavors. They tell you, oh, self development is a form of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they're telling you. Be exposed. Self-development. It means you learning this programming language, learning this is a form of exposure. You can find out maybe when you're working with this technology and you move to the technology, you find out that you think differently this technology and all. That's exposure. Oh, your circle and rest. Oh, who do you converse with? Where do you go to? Things like that. That's exposure. Personal development. You know, attend webinars, attend conferences. If you can speak. Like I was not like I think a year or two back, I might not be on this call. I was shy from this kind of calls.
Mm.
But after dropping my job, nobody tell me, see, I bought tripods, I bought mic. You can see the mic. I see,
I
I have
don't
to
see now. DJI.
say,
Hot boy.
I have to be out there because they keep telling you, hey, put yourself out there. I'm like, Amo, you find out that some persons that maybe you've interacted, you know that you know more as person, but they're moving because why? They're moving men.
That's
They
true.
have broken through. You are
Mm.
still trying to. And I think one thing with I think another problem is with I don't know what we call it smart people per se. You find out that because you know you don't know,
Mm.
you actually likewise there's like an irony there because you know that you don't know. You're actually afraid. It brings this fear. Or like somebody that does not even know that he does not know. You find out that that's why sorry to say stupid people are always very like I see that even moving. You that you are smart, you are not moving because why? You know you don't know. Hey, you're being afraid. What if they ask me that I don't know? And so if you don't know, say you don't know. It's as simple as that. Nobody is. You're not ChatGPT. Even ChatGPT does not even know. You hallucinate
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. Sometimes, and he gets a lot of times
And
too.
it
So,
gets a lot of time. So
mm,
as because as you are moving, interacting, you keep learning. You are getting more exposed. You keep on learning. You keep on learning. Like you keep on learning what it's in your school. You find out that you are no longer in point A. You are not where you used to be. Where you used to be. You are not there yet, but you're not where you used to be.
it used
You
to
move.
be true.
You keep on moving, right? I think, and the beauty is in the destination. It's in the journey you're passing, not in the destination.
Mm, that's right. Thank you so much. And one last question now. All right, so I see you're building on Solana, and I'd love to ask, like, how has Solana actually supported you to build or come this far?
Uh, so London, first of all, it's a very fast moving chain.
Yeah,
We know out there, like
acceleration.
acceleration, like things are happening. Things are
Mm,
happening, and they have one of the surest ecosystems ever, right? In terms of ecosystem supports, right? I, you can literally almost message anyone, right? And they actually give you a response or they give you that 2 cents per se. Like I mean, talks with lots of that kind of ecosystem OGs, right? Some persons they might look as if that, like they're very accessible, right? So I think the ecosystem itself, it has this cushioning effect, like this very subtle, this good soil that actually wants product to grow. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
actually built in that structure. So that's one way the ecosystem actually assisted, like reach out, 2 cents here and there. Then we actually got a grant from the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We got a grant from the foundation. So that actually be a very big support for the project. So it supports not just from the monetary term, for the fact that the Solana Foundation deem us fit to actually fund like grant. It means it's a validation. It's a,
Yeah.
it was a signal to other projects or to the ecosystem that, oh, these guys, what they're doing makes sense. Like pay attention to them.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think that's one of that's the major thing the grant did for us. That signal rather, that green light. Just give us green lights. Like these guys are
Mm-hmm.
good. Pay attention.
These guys are
Hey,
doing something legit. Focus on them.
focus on them and the rest. So that's the way that's actually has supported us.
Mm. So I think that's good. Sorry, my final question for people listening out there, probably are asking, are you guys hiring? Are you guys taking interns? How can they, if they would love to work with you, is there any room for that happening now for somebody watching that now?
So in terms of hiring, currently we're not hiring. Like we're hiring, we actually you see the way the ecosystem has given to us, we actually give back. Right?
Mm.
You find that on our page. As I say, oh, please interact with us. Follow us, like, retweet, and likes. Right.
Mhm.
So, but we have like our ambassador program. We're taking in ambassadors, like s- you know, strong, hardcore believers of the project. People that are willing to take the baton from us and run. Right.
Mm.
I was also a shout out to Crypto Roro. Like she has been a very great support. So most times the so the way I vibe towards Pollinet, most times I'm like, it's as if it's me and this person that actually thought of this project. So like, she's very so those are the kind of
Active,
people you want,
actively supporting.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone that when so that even when I'm being when we're tired, because we tend to get tired, start
Mm-hmm.
pushing, right? But because of support from these persons, you can actually feel refreshed and keep on the race. So that's
Mm.
why we put into our ecosystem, our ambassadors program. Then, if you think that ways you can actually support, maybe video content, like anyway, like actually reach out to us. Just
Mm.
hear what you have to say. We'll look at it and we'll come up like, okay, what's the best way? What's the best approach to
Towards
this?
that.
Yeah, so
Mm.
we're actually open to conversations around that.
All right. Thank you so much. As you guys have heard it from the horse's mouth, he said that they are taking ambassadors. And if you have a way that you can be of massive value to them, please do well to reach out to him on Twitter. I will be sharing my screen again so you can tweet. And just in case, so you don't not be me, you can't enter my DM, I beg. Please. All right, so I'm sharing my screen. Oh, sorry, I shared the wrong screen. Apologies for that. Let me just quickly do that again. Um, okay, so let me just share the screen once again. All right, so you can look at their Twitter and here's their Twitter page once again. And sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so it's loading now. So here's their Twitter page. You can actually send them a DM on Twitter, or here's the founder's account. I thought I saw him somewhere now. Yeah. So here's the founder's account here. You can also reach out to him on X. All right. So do well to reach out to them if there's any way that you can actually support either video content, written content, graphic design, animations, AI. You are good with AI stuffs, Google Flow, and all of those things that actually sells a product out there. Please do well to reach out to them here on X. And also their white paper is available for those of you that love reading and love exploring projects. Myself, as a content creator on TikTok, I talk about new startups here in Nigeria, and I'm definitely consuming their white paper to see my next content that most likely will go viral, talking about what they are building on X. All right. And also they have their websites fully live for you to read, and you can go through their roadmaps also. Their docs also available on their website, and everything that you need to know about Pollinet. Mr. Ogene Parobo. My
Yeah,
brother,
you're almost there.
I'm always there. Anyway, nobody
You're
this year
almost,
I go reach there. You go be
you're
like
almost there.
wife.
Maybe
One wife for
after
me.
two or three more trials, you will just
It's all right, man. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the time you spent with us today. It's such an honor, and I pray that these that you guys are building so much success ahead. And I believe that when next you are sitting on this table discussing about Pollinet, it's going to be worldwide, and literally everybody has on their device without even knowing. Thank you so much, and to
Thank you
everyone
for
watching
having
right
me.
now. You're welcome to everyone watching us right now. Thank you so much for staying with us to the end of this live stream. We appreciate it. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll be having another guest tomorrow with us here on Onchain Africa by Afro Play. Until see you again, thank you, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your week. And bye, guys. Bye, sir. And take care.